welcome to CEDIA 2016. This is Rich Fregosa for AVNation. I'm here with Hagai Feiner, founder and CEO of Access Networks and also the man of many badges, as well as on the board of directors of CEDIA. And we're actually going to talk a little bit about what Access Networks has new for the show this year. So Hagai, why don't you tell us a little bit about what I'm seeing here?
All right, so a little bit of a mix of old and new. We brought our fully redundant system, still our flagship system. You see this deployed usually in homes that are also both large and require uptime and availability. So these two core switches, they work together, and if one of them fails, the other one will continue running the network. So you will have a little bit of downtime as far as the devices are connected here, but you can even pepper the APs throughout the house so that even if one goes down, you still have some capabilities. Now what we've coupled to this year is our new monitoring solution that is directly tied into all of our switches and all of our wireless devices and allows us to monitor, alert. We can even see things all the way to power fluctuations. We can connect to these devices remotely, eliminating a VPN tunnel. There's a lot of granularity in the monitoring device that allows you to visualize what's going on your network with the capabilities of these specific switches.
All right, so I'm here with Brett Cantor from Access Networks. Brett is the CTO of Access Networks, and he's actually going to take a minute and walk me through the new diagnostic tool. So Brett, why don't you take it away and show me, what am I looking at here?
So this is the new Access Networks live monitoring solution. It's powered by CENTERSys.
So Brett, what do we have on this screen that I'm looking at right now?
So these are all the devices that are currently on the network that are being monitored by the CENTERSys box. You've got things like ping response times, drop packets, the IP address and the MAC address.
Okay.
The box can keep track of a device even if its IP address changes, and even if it goes on to a different VLAN. It's a multi-VLAN capable monitoring device. If a certain threshold is exceeded, it will alert us with an email or by creating a ticket in our ticketing system. And an Access Network support engineer will investigate the issue and resolve it to the best of their capability.
Mm-hmm. So at this point, really what we're seeing is that you're providing as much of the information of what is going on in terms of the network and its health, the devices that are sitting on there. Like you were just talking about at this point, if a device moves, you're going to be able to track it and you're going to be able to spot any of the issues with the network pretty much as they're happening, and you've got kind of an early warning system, I guess, that would be.
Right, it's proactive monitoring versus reactive monitoring. We can also do things like cycle PoE ports to restart devices that might have stopped responding. We can power cycle ports on power distribution units that have programmable ports. And really there's a lot of other features that are in the works, and we're basing a lot of them on feedback from integrators that we get to this show.
And as I understand, you said earlier when we were talking that this is actually going to be coming out in phases. This is a phase of what some of the services are going to be offering, right?
Right, so the first phase is this tool will be used by our support engineers to monitor networks and respond to problems. The second phase is going to be providing this interface for our integrators so they can also monitor everything. And eventual phases should include end user, homeowner interface, so they can look at what's going on their home network.
And what can your integrators expect in terms of pricing for this service?
So we're going to be on the higher end. So I know that there are other products out there for a few dollars a month. That's not what we're looking for. We're going after a complete service model where this is a luxury sale. I think you'll see it to the client for about $150 a month.
Okay.
But we will also bundle in upgrades and warranty and support continuous for the lifetime of the project. So that's something we've not done before. We have a lot of projects out there that our integrators sold, and no one ever went back. You know, the system works, it's enterprise grade, it will work for 10 years, and they're still using 802.11bg. We want to stop that cycle. We want to get into a cycle where those technologies are updated, especially on the wireless side where things change so quickly. And we want to keep the clients current. We want to keep money flowing into the integrator's pocket, and obviously we would like to cash in on that as well.
Right, and you bring up a good point about the fact that you're providing services and that there are other competing products you're trying to work their way into the market. What is it that you would normally tell a dealer who is looking at that as opposed to your services? What can they expect from Access Networks when they're providing, like, basically you're providing the ecosystem for them?
Right. So we're looking at solving problems when they occur. And our gear is very detailed when it comes to what's going on, what's causing it. And we've been able to do this in years past by putting an engineer in front of the system. What we're looking at doing today is very different, where we're going to harness the power of those monitoring solutions that we have on different jobs, not only to solve problems on those specific jobs, but to correlate issues from different jobs all over. So as we continue and build the monitoring solution, you're going to see these switches and routers and firewalls reporting to the monitoring solution with a lot of information. We will distill that information and put it in front of the integrator and our engineers, and we're going to correlate what's happening on that specific job versus other projects that we have that are calling us back to the cloud. So it's going to become aware and it's going to become smart.
Right. And you were talking about, you have your systems and the marketplace that you're going to be focusing on, but you do have different, within the ecosystem, you have different segments of how your hardware is broken down. Can you step me a little bit through the differences between the lines?
Sure. So this is a Unity system where everything is redundant here. That's kind of the more expensive side of what we do. And then if you step down here, you have a much smaller system. It's a Foundation G. You get a firewall, wireless controller, gigabit switch. You can of course add switches and access points as you wish. This is a flat system, no VLANs, for a smaller installation. So very big price difference. This one, the dealer cost here is $54.99. And here, this can start at, I think, 30 something.
Okay.
So definitely big differences. And we see the other thing that's happening in the market now is that there is a shift. There is the DIY products that are coming into our space, and Access decided to not just sit there and say, this is what we do, we're only enterprise, and we're taking a step towards DIY by adopting the Eero offering.
You brought up just what I was going to ask.
Which I love. So Eero's done a great job selling their offering to the consumer, building a very simple user interface, very easy to get up and go with this product. The problem is they weren't targeting the CEDIA channel as their market. They went straight to the consumer. So we came in and said, look, we would like you to be with us in our channel. We'd like to make this work. And Eero responded in kind and said, all right, let's make this work. And now what you're going to see is Eero developing tools such as onboarding, their latest tool, which allows an integrator to go deploy the Eero system in a client's house. And they use their own phone. The integrator can use their own phone to turn on the system, get it up and running within a few minutes, and then hand that over digitally, assign the system to the homeowner, so the integrator doesn't have to take the homeowner's phone and do it. So privacy issues, Eero is thinking about all those things and how to make the integrator's life easier. So you're going to see the Eero product evolve with the integration channel in mind.
Fantastic. So as a lot of the integrators just figuring out, I just learned about Eero. Obviously, you saw what was coming down the curve with them. What is Eero offering in terms of their focus is as the mesh networking with the multi-in, multi-out antennas, right?
Yes. So the Eero has a 2x2 chip. It's 802.11ac. Their mesh system is different than what you will see with Apple Airport, for example. We see a lot of cases where people just yanked out the airports and put in Eero, and they have good Wi-Fi. I have Eero at home. It's working well. I'm very happy with it. And again, until now, we didn't have a go-to solution for a router, an access point, and mesh now for $500 MSRP for a 3-pack.
Right, which I think they were saying for a 3-pack of the Eeros, they were
$500 MSRP, $499?
$499 MSRP.
Which is great. So here, if you buy it through us, distribution, you get 20 off. And of course, we want to make it deeper, but at the same time, we need to start selling it.
So something they can keep within the distribution channel as opposed to going down to a retailer or to a supermarket, basically, and buying somebody's off-the-shelf
Correct.
component that there's no profitability, that they still may have to maintain in service.
Right, and Eero has a dedicated support line for integrators. So if you're an integrator and you are buying the product through the channel, you can call Eero and say, here's my serial number, here's my problem, and they have people that know integration and understand where you're going versus trying to call a manufacturer and wait, you're integrating with Control 4 or with this or with that. They already know and understand what they're dealing with.
Right.
So very positive. I see Access as the emissary for the channel within Eero, within Ruckus, and somewhat within Cisco. But definitely our best relationships are with the manufacturers that embrace us.
Great. Now, if people want to get more information about Eero or about the Access Network line, where do they find you?
So with Eero, you can go to pro.eero.com or eero.com/pro. And then if you want to talk to us about monitoring and this solution, which we're now beta testing, you can just contact us, sales@accessca.com.
Great, and the website?
Website, accessca.com.
Accessca.com, great. Guy, thanks so much,
Awesome.
appreciate
Thank
the
you, Rich.
time.